The new Super Mario Brothers movie is doing bonanza at the box office, breaking records, and that's a great thing. It's great for Epic Universe. It's great for everybody involved with Nintendo. But oh no, here we go again. The voice actor for Luigi has screwed up royally with an interview trap tactic that went craptacularly badly. Today we'll tell you why this might actually impact the box office, especially if Fox News picks it up, and maybe even the fun at Epic Universe. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, lend me your ears and your eyes, but not if you're driving. No, keep your eyes on the road. Folks, we've got a story to tell right now. It turns out that Nintendo, well, they need a handler for some of those actors talking about the Mario movie. Could have an impact on Epic. Unlikely, maybe. Kind of depends if Fox News or any of these other conservative outlets pick it up, and I think they might. Folks, click like. And here, TPP, all the news that should be fun, brings you a new one regarding Mario. Woke journos are still capturing poor actors in their traps, and sometimes because those actors don't know how to shut their traps. Let's talk about it right now. We're going to do so carefully because this one is a zinger. It's by Zach Zweisen, and it's out of Kotaku, a place that, well, you know, is a hive of villainy. Here's what it says. Super Mario Galaxy movie's Charlie Day ranks a certain Luigi. Shall we call him Luigi M for this one, guys? Is that okay? Yeah. Okay. Luigi M as his second favorite Luigi. Number one was, of course, himself, the voice of Mario's brother in the movies. You know, it's going so swell right now, the Mario stuff. It's just, they're going to make a lot of money. And here comes Kotaku to just screw everything up. And I'll explain why I think this is a total trap. And I'll explain why I think they do this in order to destroy the stuff that you all love. But before we go into that, let me tell you Luigi M, okay? Luigi M is the guy that some of the most woke in the world love because he deleted, illegally, of course, someone involved in at high levels of insurance companies. And because he did that, very strangely, the super woke love the guy. But remember, he's going to be in jail for the rest of his life, and he deserves to be because he deleted the life of another. Okay? So he's not somebody to look up to. He's grotesque. It's evil, but they love him. Here's how this played out. Here's how this happened. How in the world did a voice actor for a kid's cartoon brag about and promote somebody who deleted the life of another? Well, here's how it happened. Out of Kotaku. The cast of the Super Mario Galaxy movie is currently flying around the world and doing interviews to promote the animated film, which is now in theaters. And when Luigi's voice actor, Charlie Day, was asked who his favorite Luigi was in recent American history, the always sunny in Philadelphia actor laughed before naming the alleged deletor, Luigi M. Now, it says alleged, and we got to say that too, right? But you all know what you know. During a recent interview with Tintoria at an official event in Tokyo, Japan, some of the cast of the Super Mario Galaxy movie were chatting with an interviewer about the upcoming film. Pretty standard stuff. These interviews are usually boring fluff, where guests answer pre-screened questions with media-trained responses and company-approved jokes. That's right. Author says, I imagine that for a Nintendo movie, these events are even more controlled. That's right. That makes Charlie Day's answer when asked to name his favorite Luigi all the more surprising and hilarious. Folks, here is the vid, and we'll be careful with it, but here we go.
I have a question for you, Charlie. You play Luigi, a great Italian guy. Who's your favorite Luigi in recent American history?
Recent American history?
All right, now pause there. This is the setup. This is how they got him, okay? Number one, I don't know how many Luigis there are, but it can't be many. And then number two, to say there's a Luigi only of recent American history that is the one that you've got to name, it kind of eliminates this and narrows it down to where the quick response from the actor is going to be insane, right? So it's a setup. It's a total setup. Let's play it again. Charlie Day should have known better, but again, it's a total setup.
American history.
Recent American history. Well, me first.
They're all laughing because they all know there's only one answer, and that's the setup, right?
Yeah.
And they know to get out of this.
Number one. Luigi. Number two. That's perfect. That's only one.
That's one.
All right. So here's the problem, guys. Here's the problem with that. So they're laughing, and I think they've probably had a little bit too much to drink. Here's the problem, though. As soon as that happens, it's all over Kotaku. Because Kotaku is waiting to do this and to make sure that this happens, and then it damages the movie. It makes Nintendo mad. And it Nintendo is very careful to the point, Blaine, Nintendo could say, drop Charlie Day, we can get a guy who sounds just like him for the next one. They don't like you to make controversial statements. They don't like their characters to be put in any kind of this light. So your thoughts on this one, Blaine, and particularly, Blaine, the idea that these actors still don't understand. There are websites, there are journalists out there, they're trapping them. That's their job, to trap them.
Yeah, and that's clearly what happened here. It's complete crap. Like, that's messed up. Even the way that they framed it by saying recent, right? He didn't even say, the famous Luigi's, which there aren't many of those either. But like, to even say,
another famous Luigi? I can't even think of one.
I was literally trying to think of one and could not think of one outside of the character from Mario and Mangione.
Right. I literally just think of a chef, right? I just think Luigi. That's all that comes to mind. I'm sure there's 12 famous Luigis right now angry at us, but Dude, I don't know.
I literally just grokked it and asked, and it did not come up with any that I had heard of.
So it's a trap question. They're likely intoxicated. You can kind of tell. Yeah. Maybe they're not. Maybe they're not. But it's a trap question set up for journalists to destroy, the goodwill.
And look at Anya Taylor-Joy's face. Like, when they asked her that way, instantly she was just like, no. Like, oh no, because she knew. And that is the thing. This is an absolute trap, completely crap. Like, Kotaku sucks. I would literally, if I was Nintendo or these guys, I would be like, look, like, you did this to generate press. We will not be doing interviews with you in the future. Like, you guys are toast.
Right. Because this Italian outlet is no more. Hey, Lauren, where are the handlers? Why did nobody step in and say, hey, we don't do that. Kids film. We're not doing that.
There's two proper responses to that question in my mind. One is that you immediately turn on the interviewer and you make the interview unusable so that they can't air it. You say, do you think that's an appropriate question while we're here promoting a kid's movie? What do you think you're doing here, Jack? I think that you embarrass the interviewer. That's response number one. Response number two is make something up on the spot. Say that it's Luigi Anderson from New Jersey who does your haircuts. You make something up so that you can turn it so that it's humorous without killing the interview. That way maybe you make your handlers happy as well as not give the interviewer what you want. But that response, the one that he gave, I understand the in the moment laughing about the question because you recognize it's a trap, but to then play into it and give him the answer he wants, you should have immediately gone sober and go, what are you doing here, man? You're messing with my career.
Right. You're after me. You're after me. And that really, when we're dealing with a movie that's going to make $1 billion plus, it's no laughing matter anymore. Right. And Nintendo doesn't want these characters, because when you start talking about, how much are the Nintendo characters worth beyond the movie? Well, the movie is small beans compared to, every Mario game that's going to come out in the future. I mean, you're talking about billions and billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars. They don't want this stuff connected together. But there seems to me, guys, there's a system in Hollywood right now that their job is to get these actors on the record to say something that's abrasive and offensive, and then to run those headlines. And I understand that. It kind of reminds me of the guy who's always on the red carpet, and it doesn't matter. It can be the Smurfs movie, but he's there and he says, is this the gayest Smurfs movie ever? What did you think about Smurfette being a total lesbo? And it's every single time. And there's an obsession with that, but it's dangerous these days for these films because it throws them in the crosshairs of the culture war. So, Blaine, I really think that, and I've said this before, like when Disney had Rachel Zegler nonstop, I think these companies need to have a policy in place where, one, they've got a social media and interview handler who's there to protect them, because I don't think actors are particularly that smart. Like, I think they're great at what they do, but not every actor is a genius, and sometimes they really screw up badly. You need a handler both online and in real life. And then the other thing too is there needs to be a penalty written in these contract clauses where if we're going to be on Fox News, let's say we've got this investment and let's say that we think we're going to make $1.5 billion on Mario, which is the case here. If you say something that's going to be on Fox News and lowers us by $300 million, if you make a $300 million mistake, that's coming out of your paycheck. And I think that's the new system that Hollywood needs to have.
Yeah, because a lot of these guys have been doing stuff that really makes these companies look absolutely terrible, and they're not fielding these questions. They're not prepping these actors and these folks, which in this scenario, you can tell Charlie Day's even caught off guard, and he kind of laughs uncomfortably. But the whole thing is that Charlie is like, wait, I'm trying to even think of a recent like Luigi. And then of course he rattles off the only one that comes to his brain. And I'm sure in that moment, it's kind of one of those, oh no, like I've made a mistake. But there does need to start being some things to make these folks not say so many stupid things that damage the brand, damage whatever it is that they're working on.
Yeah. The problem too is, probably not a good idea to have somebody who is going to try to trap you, and you've been drinking, and you got all these people laughing around you. And I think the rapid fire nature of some of these questions, it just doesn't do these businesses any good. Anybody could make a mistake when you've got those kinds of conditions, whether it's this mistake or another mistake. Any human can make a big mistake and slip into something that you just didn't recognize. Oh boy, I've messed up, until the next day.
And these outlets should be punished by these companies, right? It's like, if there's an outlet that is notorious for this, just don't do any interviews with them. Sorry, you guys are out of the loop.
Yeah, this is the kind of question you can ask at the Ella McKay thing, and who cares, right? But if it's Mario, if it's Shrek, if it's Toy Story, just, don't go there. And the studios are going to have to say, no, we're done with this, because our job is to make a lot of money. Because the artsy fartsy, ultra woke stuff, it makes no money now. So this is all we got. Don't hurt us. Don't harm us. This is the money train. This is the piggy bank.
Thanks for watching That Park Plays News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.